So after I've done all my stretching warm up and all the dynamic activation stuff I just took you through, then I start to hit some balls. So the first thing I do is like as probably most of you guys do, I'm just trying to ease into it. So I'll start with just some pitch shots, right? So I don't have a set number. I'm not superstitious. I don't have like set number of balls I'll hit, but start with some pitch shots, just trying to get loosened up. Some little partial wedge shots. And kind of just slowly start hitting fuller and fuller wedge shots. So hit maybe 8 to 10 or so by the time I'm hitting some full wedges. Just got my 60 degree out right now. And not too concerned about where the ball's going, more just trying to get loose. And then I'll move to something a little longer, usually a pitching wedge or a 9-iron, and start to hit some full shots. And after maybe 4 or 5 full swings, when at that point I feel, well, kind of fully loose, fully warmed up, I'll pretty much always work on something in my swing. So I'll do some mechanical stuff, just trying to cue and trigger just whatever I'm working on, and just try and kind of ingrain that a little bit before I start the round. So at this point, I'll usually aim and lay down an alignment rod, just to make sure that I'm setting up correctly. I'm pretty anal about setup, so.
Now, David, do you aim your alignment rod up parallel to your target?
Yeah, I just try to have it
parallel right for you?
Parallel right for me, parallel left for, so I'm just aiming at that pole you can see in the distance there.
And what shot shape do you play, David?
Typically I'm a draw player, but in my practice and in my warm-up, I try and actually hit lots and lots of different shots. On the range in general, I'll try and hit lots of cuts, lots of high shots, lots of low shots, and I find that gives me really just a better feeling, better awareness of the club head. So I try and do that also in my warm-up. Also just so I'm ready, so I'm prepared if I do have to hit some cut shots. Typically I'm hitting draws all day, but sometimes you end up in situations behind a tree or there's a back left pin, you want to hit a cut to it. So I'll do that in my warm-up, make sure I hit a bunch of different shots so I feel comfortable on the course, and also just because I find it gives me better awareness, really.
Now let me ask you this, David, because I really agree with what you're saying, and I feel like that helps me with making changes on the course, because I know some players that only play one shot, and if if something starts happening, they almost can't correct it because they're so used to one feeling.
So I can definitely be guilty of that, right? Because I can hit draws all day, and really I find even if it is a back left pin, like I'll just aim at it and hit it, and if it draws away from it, draws away. If it goes straight, right? So I feel like you don't really have to. There's tons of good players who only hit one shot, but I agree with you. So I can get guilty of overdoing draws so much so that when it comes to a situation where I do need to hit a fade, there is like a right to left hole, I get nervous. I'm not comfortable. So that's something I've really worked on lately, is just not overdoing it. So when those situations arise, I'm not screwed.
Balancing out. Like if you start overdrawing it, if you have that little bit of that awareness and you're used to kind of low cuts or big cuts, then you might be able to balance it out a little more. And real quick, to add on to your back left pin, which would be a fade for you.
Yeah, for a fade for me.
Me and Andy were just looking at some Pro Tracer videos of a PGA Tour tournament where it was a back right pin, and like 85% of the PGA Tour players were hitting draws into it. So it's just interesting, like you say, that it's not. These guys don't necessarily work it into every hole. It might be dependent on the wind or their shot shape, but like you said, if you're really good at hitting one shot, that's all you need too.
Well, it's funny you say, I guess I kind of said that just as an example, but for myself, I guess I really don't actually do that. I say it was a back left pin, you hit the cut. I feel like I'm probably just reiterating what you hear the guys say on TV, you hear Johnny Miller, but in reality, I actually kind of love left pins because I'm not afraid of losing it left because I hit it right all day. Just going back to what we were saying just about working it both ways, for me, I just think you need the ability to go both ways. I don't think it matters if you're a draw player or a fade player, but if you're so into out that you can only hit draws, I think you've overdone it at that point. That's personally my like litmus test.
Well,
I don't know.
I was
Do you agree with
teaching.
that?
I
If that
was
makes sense.
teaching a friend down in San Diego, and he did the same way. I mean, he's hitting these big 15-yard push draws, but the problem is he didn't work on any hitting those 9 windows. And the problem was he's playing a tournament, and the wind was right to left all day at most of the holes. And he either had to shoot it way off to the right, or he's hooking it off the planet.
Yeah.
And I asked him, like, okay, well, did you try to work it into the wind, or did you try to lessen your draw? And he's like, I didn't want to think of anything technical and get in my head. And I'm like, well, you know, and that became a problem for him.
Yeah. Like, I mean, usually you can get away with it, but yeah, you need the ability when you hit through a shoot, like 18 in Augusta, whatever, you got to hit it straight on that one shot. You just, most of the time, especially in desert golf, you can just have any shot shape, but you need the ability to hit it straight enough to be able to deal with those situations. But back to the warm-up. Basically, when I feel loose enough to start hitting some full swings, that's when I'll start to do some mechanical things. And like I said, just cue what I'm working on. What I'm working on right now is hitting lots of left-hand shots. So, do you want me to just get in when I'm...
Yeah, absolutely, please.
Okay. Yeah, so what I'm working on, I'm hitting lots of shots just with my trail hand. And it's because since I overhook it so much, and that's something I deal with, like I'm working on this, and I'm feeling my shoulder release more under it. I have like early extension, and I kind of release the club out this way. But when hitting left-hand shots, it just forces this shoulder to work under the ball, and it gets the club releasing a little better. As opposed to, I've got a tendency to extend early and release the club out this way. But when I hit it with left hand, kind of keep more down through the shot, work the shoulder under, and the club path, the exit, is more out here.
More to the right for you.
More to the right for me, yes.
These lefties are so confusing.
Got to reverse everything.
Yeah.
So I'm not...
That was nice. I mean,
Thanks.
Did that take you a while to develop the strength or coordination to swing with one hand? Because I've kind of done similar things with my left hand, and it's not easy swinging, making decent contact with one arm.
I find it tough for me, especially since I'm also, even though I play left-handed, I'm right-hand dominant, right? So it definitely was tough at first, but I don't know, a little bit of practice, obviously you get better at everything.
Now,
so the one thing,
what clubs do you do that with, David? Would you ever do that with a 4-iron or 6-iron or 8-iron or driver?
I mean, I've hit balls with my left hand with a driver. I just find it's hard to generate enough speed to really hit it properly. And the thing is, I care more about the mechanics of what I'm doing so I'll take swings all the time left-handed, but maybe not with the driver, but I won't actually hit the balls and even when I'm doing this, I care more about the mechanics than the actual contact. So really, like when I'm doing this, I'll just face the camera as I'm doing this. Like, I'm trying to maintain this angle in my wrist, as opposed to I get a little bit flippy through impact. So I'm trying to swing with my left hand, but also maintain that angle. So that's really my focus here. And I don't want the ball, even though I have the club exiting right, I'm trying to maintain this angle. And I don't want the ball going right. So I want the club rotating right, but the ball to actually go left. So that's actually kind of my focus here. And so as I'm doing this...
It's a draw, but it's a stable draw. It's not a flippy draw or
Exactly.
rolly draw.
It's a great way to describe
It's a
it.
body release, stable release draw.
Yeah, that's a perfect way. But that shot there, like I felt like I was holding the club off a ton. I felt like I was going to squeeze way left, but actually go straight.
That was perfect, yeah.
So the thing is, like, I care more about that and maintaining those angles, the mechanics, and then as opposed to with a driver, I feel like I just have to rip at it to even have enough speed to get it off the ground. So that's why I do it more with short irons.
Yeah, and I think one of the bigger pictures is that if you want to hit another shot for
Sure.
us, David, is David actually knows his tendencies. He knows his own swing. So a lot of players that come see me for a lesson, they don't like David. He kind of went through you on what he said. He kind of early extends or just gets a little rolly. And you guys, especially for a tour player, these are really small degrees, but those small degrees make a big impact. But once again, David knows his weaknesses, and then he's kind of balancing that out before he plays, so he's not hitting these overdraws. It's very simple stuff. Really. So, and then he kind of sets up a little routine before he plays to kind of guarantee he doesn't go into the round and start hitting these big hooks or something. Thanks for watching that video, you guys. I want to say a big thanks to David for sharing his time. And if you haven't seen the last video we did on David's dynamic warm-up one, what he does before he starts hitting balls, make sure you go check that out. I got a few more videos coming with David. And if you have any questions for David or me, leave them down in the comments down below and I will get back to you guys. Please hit me up on Facebook, Gabriel M. Ryder, Instagram, PGA Tour Driven. I got more videos coming with different coaches and different players. If you like this video, please subscribe. And of course, check out my membership website, mti.gabrielryder.com. More videos coming soon. I'll talk to you guys later.